Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. Baseball is a relative matter with family ties everywhere. Oh, brother, the winning road leads to Minnesota, where telling these twins apart is easy, especially when you look up to the top of the West. It's all in the family in Baltimore, where this Oriole Jr. needs no fatherly advice to prove once again he'd be a favorite son on any team. A sun also rises in Cincinnati as baseball's brightest young star continues with a kind of play that would make any parent proud. Mommy Dearest. Family secrets are out in the open between Major League moms and their offspring. Hey, it's Mother's Day, so don't forget to give Mom a hug, y'all, right after you two sit and watch This Week in Baseball. Now in our second decade.
The thing that I like most about This Week in Baseball is looking at it every Saturday and seeing myself on there doing something great.
National League gridlock. The Cubs create traffic on top of the East. With 11 wins in 15 games, the Chicago Cubs gained entry to the hottest spot in the East, in first place for the first time in 2 years. Andre Dawson has been a key figure in the Cubs' surprising success, recently smashing 6 homers in 10 games. Chicago may not have been the homiest place in April, but Dawson's been doubling everyone's pleasure at Wrigley these days.
Hit out to center field, and it'll drop for a base hit, and the Cubs are going to win it. And maybe they will have 2 mayors in Chicago inaugurated.
This is, again, something new to me, and I want to go out and enjoy the game. And I feel if I'm healthy, if I can play 150 ball games or so, the numbers are all going to average out. But the main thing is being loose, being relaxed, and letting my natural ability take over.
When it comes to hitting Wrigley's outer reaches, Leon Durham does what comes naturally. Besides an 11-game hitting streak, he's got 8 homers to help keep the current flowing at the Chicago Power Company, which has produced the second most homers in the league. Of course, this company is utilizing all the bats.
Sandberg sends one to deep left, and gone by. They hit 4 yesterday. This is their 4th today. You can forget about it. Back-to-back home runs. Jody Davis leaves the ballpark.
More Chicago excitation caused by Lee Smith, who's been sending enemy batters to exasperation with 7 saves and an ERA near 2. If the Cubs' much improved pitching continues to thrive, Chicago just may open up a lot more daylight on top of the East. Now to a Cincinnati kid who's hitting the daylights out of the ball. Meet Eric Davis, the Reds' latest and greatest sensation.
Davis gives it a ride again. Oh, are you kidding me? That's his 3rd home run of the day.
Eric, the Reds' conquest of the Phillies, featured 5 homers in 3 games, leading the league with a .408 average, 12 homers, 27 RBIs, and for good measure, 14 steals. Staggering numbers for the 25-year-old outfielder who's already being compared to the game's legends.
Eric is the type of guy, if he stays healthy and maintain his good work habits like he have at the present time, I think Eric is going to rewrite the record books. But I've never seen one player that do everything above average. He has above average speed.
Well, there's no pretense about the Reds and Eric Davis. He gets from first base and just steals second.
He has above average defensive skills.
This ball is gone, and Eric Davis just brings it back. What a play.
He has above average power production as well.
The 1-1, driven high into the air in left field. Griffey to the track. This ball is out of here. Home run. It's 8-7.
I've never seen a guy come along with that much talent. I mean, I've been in the league 24 years, and I've never seen a guy that could do as many things. When I was a kid watching Clemente and Aaron and Mays, people like that, I wasn't really analyzing talent. But I can't imagine any of those fellas having any more talent, raw talent at this age that Eric Davis has. He is the only guy in the league that legitimately can hit 4th and lead the league on stolen bases. I mean, there's no other player who can do that.
A lot of people talk about my offense and me stealing bases, but I take a lot of pride in my defense. I work real hard, and I get a lot out of it when I go out and, you know, you take a home run for somebody to win the ball game, or you make a diving catch in the gap to save 2 runs.
Heavy, heavy, heavy. Davis is busting out all over. Now let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's TWIB notes from around the National League. The Expos' Tim Raines promptly nixed any notions that he'd be rusty in his first game back. For starters, he beat the Mets with a 10th-inning grand slam. His 4th hit of the game, by the way.
I felt that after losing a month of the season and not really being an opening day, sort of made me get that attitude that when it was time for me to get back into the game, I was going to be ready and I wouldn't have to go to, say, AAA or spend any time before coming right up.
Raines was ready, all right. All told, in his first 4 games back, he hit 3 game-winning homers, leaving all to wonder who'll stop the Raines. Now, there was no stopping Candy Maldonado as he helped the Giants turn a 6-run deficit into a 10-7 win against St. Louis.
Candy tripled in the 3rd, homered in the 7th, singled in the 8th. Candy drills it into the alley in right center. Leonard is around second. He will head for 3rd. He is being waved home. Maldonado will stop at 2nd, and Maldonado has the cycle.
Teammate Harry Spillman had gone 409 games without a steal, most of any active player. And then against the Cubs.
There goes the runner on first, breaking for second. A throw. They should have him easily, and he is out.
Not so. In fact, Spillman did get his first major league steal, but due to a missed tag by Manny Trillo. P.S. The Giants kept the base. For Houston pitcher Danny Darwin, life at the plate was a bust. 7 consecutive strikeouts of late and 1 hit lifetime. But then came Darwin's evolution, or revolution. Against the Phillies, he single-doubled, and then late in the game, he cracked a 2-run triple that put Houston ahead to stay. He helped his own cause, pitching a 5-hitter for 7 innings and got the victory. Now, this week's quiz brought to you by the 1988 Chevy full-size pickup, a whole new animal. From the heartbeat of America, today's Chevy trucks. Greg Nettles of the Atlanta Braves came off the bench in a game against the Astros and crashed a bases-loaded homer. A cinch in the pinch for Nettles, who turns 43 in August. How about that? By the way, can you name the oldest major leaguer ever to hit a grand slam? Well, you may need some coaching on this one. American League Travelogue. Minnesota navigates a winning route. Mapping out a first-class route in the West, the Twins have so far stayed on course. Manager Tom Kelly may have taken over a hapless team late last year, but now his Twins are riding smoothly.
We keep our emotions in check, and we just don't really get too high or too low, you know, and I just think we're a much improved team. We got a much better pitching staff, I think, and, you know, it's important that we get off to a good start, or have gotten off to a good start.
Most impressive, Gary Gaetti and Kirby Puckett. As for the G-Man, he's been most convincing at the plate, bagging 19 RBIs and 8 home runs. With a Gold Glove each, these two make a peach of a pair. Witness Kirby Puckett's exploits, a .350 average while raising high the roof beam, with 8 home runs to boot. The bats may bring melodies to Minnesota, but the Twins sure know true harmony lies in the pitching.
We try to get a good pitching effort out of our starter, and then hopefully things will work for us after that. We can swing the bat some and then steal a base or two and hit and run and do the things that the guys enjoy doing on the field. If our pitching's good at the start and allow us to do these things, we can have some fun each night.
Kelly's also counting on his remodeled bullpen to keep the good times rolling. Juan Berenguer figures to help improve a pen that had the fewest saves in the majors last year. Most impressive credentials come from Jeff Reardon, who so far has posted 6 saves and a win. Could be his veteran know-how is just what the Twins need to be the best in the West.
You know, a lot of our potential depends on how our pitching staff does, and I think since we have a veteran bullpen for the first time in a long time, that it's making our pitching staff more stable, and of course with Jeff Reardon down there, it makes everybody a lot happier.
No doubt a taste of first place brings true happiness under the dome. Now let's shift to Baltimore for a story of a hitter galore. The subject was Cal Ripken's bat. Unfit, said the ump, who discovered a crack. Could that be the reason for Ripken's hot hand? Would he find a replacement equally grand? Soon enough, the answers were out when the Ripper smacked a 3-run clout, all of which proves one thing is true: when you're hot, any bat will do. But 'twas all for naught as the White Sox won. But hang on, because there's more Ripken to come. When Baltimore's number 8 comes to the plate, beware. Although the Orioles may be floundering right now near the bottom of the East, their star shortstop, Cal Ripken, is flourishing. 9 homers and a league-leading 30 RBIs. With numbers like that, Ripken needs no coaching from the manager, even if he is dear old dad.
I don't think there's any father-to-son advice here, because there again, I was in professional baseball when he was born. He's been around me at home, and it's been a professional family all of our lives. So we talk baseball a lot. There's no question about that.
You have to be alive now, just in case he might drag one. You never know, he might drag one.
The only advice that he gets is out here on the field from the manager or the coaches, and I don't really think he needs any advice from Dad, so to speak.
Well, Cal, tell me, how is it sharing the dugout with Cal Sr.?
It's becoming more and more comfortable, actually. Only when I first came to the big leagues, the doubt how things were going to be. I didn't know how it would be playing or being on the same team. I didn't know how the fans would perceive us. But the more and more, it's very, very comfortable to look in the corner of the dugout and see him. Really, you don't think about it being the father anymore. You just think about seeing him at the ballpark every day. It seems so natural now.
Thanks a lot, Cal. And now, fans, let's review this week in baseball's Twib Notes from around the American League. Kansas City's Brett Saberhagen seems on the rebound to glory. Besides the best ERA in the major leagues, he's off with a perfect 5-0 start and looks to be back in his 1985 form when the 21-year-old Saberhagen won the Cy Young Award, led the Royals to the World Championship, and was voted the World Series MVP. But last year,
I had a couple injuries, shoulder out of spring training, had a foot problem when I pushed off the mound. I had a soreness go across the top of my foot, and it was there some days, and some days it wouldn't be there. And then towards the middle of the season after the All-Star break, I had my shoulder problem again. So between not having a good year on the mound and physically, it was a terrible year for me.
But now, at age 23, Saberhagen is back on the beam. Now, let's zero in on the answer to this week's quiz. Tony Perez is now a coach with the Reds, but in 1985, the day before he turned 43, he bashed a bases-loaded homer against the Phillies, becoming the oldest player ever to hit a grand slam. In his 23-year career, Perez always had a knack for driving in runs, now ranks 14th on the all-time RBI list. Now, a flip of the mic to Warner Fusell for a family feature on Mother's Day. File away, Warner, brother.
Mel, on Mother's Day, one should call home, or Mother might call you.
Hello?
Is Cantor back there?
Yeah, just a minute, please. Hurry. It's your mom again. Bring it over here. Hello. Hi, Mom. What's the problem now?
I hope you're taking your vitamins.
Yeah, Mom, I'm taking my vitamins. Alrighty. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Mother Herbeck has done a great job, but she's had it easy, with only one son in the majors. Other moms had it tougher. For example, let's focus on the Mathewson brothers. Christy Mathewson had great promise as a pitcher, and so did brother Henry. But Christy spent so much time beating up his younger brother that Henry was too weak to win even one game. As for the veteran Christy, he lost 188. Thus, a tough grip on life for Ma Mathewson. Then there were the Dean brothers, Dizzy and Daffy. Mother Dean taught her sons modesty, but something went wrong.
Well, Paul, we ought to win 45 ball games this year.
I think we will, Diz. If you'll win 35, I'll take care of the rest.
Nice going, boy.
Even out of uniform, the Dean boys showed little respect for the fairer sex.
I've been married 4 years, and I want to give you a little advice on married life. Always wear the pants of the family, and don't go in there and sweep floors and wash the dishes like they're going to ask you to. Be the big boss, see, at all times.
Is that so? You might be the boss on the mound, but I'm the boss at home. Here, go in there and sweep that kitchen.
Oh, what am I supposed to do with that?
You're supposed to sweep the kitchen with it.
That'll ruin my arm.
I won't.
Together in 21 seasons, the Deans managed only a .201 batting average. Joe DiMaggio was one of 3 DiMaggio brothers to make the big leagues, but he missed his mother so much he suddenly submitted his resignation and quit the Yankees to stay home and play bocce. Brother Dom soon became a professor, and poor Vince played but batted .071 one season and .091 another. Today, the Necros are baseball's most famous family, but even with the loyal support of Mother Necro, her knuckle-headed sons, Phil and Joe, have managed to lose 450 games. Years ago, George Brett's mother told George he could become a great hitter if he would just relax. But George soon disobeyed his mom and lost control. So embarrassed was older brother and former pitcher Ken that he refuses to be photographed. Nevertheless, George often waves to him in the stands. Then there's the ultimate display of motherly love. Hank Aaron and brother Tommy made it to the majors only to strike out more than 1,500 times. And when Hank's mother saw him loafing around the bases for the 715th time, she'd had enough. Mrs. Aaron ordered all of her friends onto the field and then barged through the crowd herself in order to give her son a bit of advice. Finally, a major league mom who guided her son through law school only to see him run away to the big city to talk baseball. How about that? The mother of Mel Allen. Happy Mother's Day, moms everywhere. Now, the 1948 World Series. The Cleveland Indians, Boston Braves, and young Mel.
This is Mel Allen speaking to you once again from Braves Field in Boston. The first game of the 1948 World Series. Jimmy Britt and I have been having a wonderful time describing the scoreless pitchers duel with Johnny Sain and Bobby Feller baffling the hitters. Feller having given up 1 hit, Sain 4. Bob Feller on the hill, realizing one of his lifetime ambitions, that is to have the opportunity to pitch in a World Series game, is into the windup, and now the pitch is swung on. A good shot rammed, a great backhand stop by Robinson, a throw to Feller, and a put out at first base on a tremendous play. Lou Bedrow orders Eddie Stanky to be put on with first base open. A runner on second in scoring position. They're walking. Eddie Stanky, stretched by Feller, checks his runners. There's an attempt to pick off a throw down to Bedrow, and he almost had Macy. And Bedrow is arguing with Bill Stewart, who says no, he's back in. And Bill Stewart signals that Bedrow tagged him on the arm about the elbow, meaning, of course, that the hand had the bag before Bedrow put on the tag. But it was beautifully executed. Now we're all set to go. The stretch by Feller. Here's the pitch. Tommy Holmes swings and hits one down the third baseline for a base hit. Here is Macy rounding third, digs for the plate, and he goes in to score. And there is Sisti going to third and sliding into second is Holmes. Now the game has come right down to the wire. 2 down. Keltner on second on an error. Judnick the batter, and he's ready for the 2-strike pitch, and Keltner leads off second. Here it is. Judnick takes strike 3 call. The ball game is over. And big Johnny Sain put that third one by Waller Judnick with a tying run on second base. And the Boston Braves nipped the Cleveland Indians in the first game of the 1948 World Series 1-0.
Now, this week in baseball's flashback, brought to you by Gatorade. Thirst aid for that deep down body thirst. Red Sox flamethrower Roger Clemens set Fenway ablaze on April 29, 1986, when he dismissed the Seattle Mariners in record fashion. On his way to a 3-1 win, Clemens struck out 19 batters, needed one more for the record books.
The crowd again on its feet at Fenway Park in Boston as Roger Clemens checks in with Gidman and reads the sign. Here's the right-hander's windup. Here's the pitch. Strike 3! Roger Clemens has broken the Major League record. 4 strikeouts in one game. He has struck out 20
That night was just so exciting for me, and I just feel real happy that, you know, two guys that I really look up to, they had that record. Seaver and Ryan are the two I'm talking about. I really watched a lot because they're both right-handers. Just feel real honored to be mentioned with those type of men, and at my age, and you know, I don't think that the record will ever be broken. You know, there's always a chance it can be broken, but I don't think nobody will walk nobody in that game. That's what I'm proud of. I didn't realize at the time I had that many strikeouts until Al Nipper told me in the 9th inning I had a chance to go down in history. And so I'm very happy about that. Nobody's done that before, and I do treasure that more, and I probably would have no-hitter because there's been a lot of people throwing no-hitters before.
This game was just an awesome performance. It was an overpowering night of pitching. When you strike out 20 men out of 30 and don't allow a walk, you're doing something right, and you're doing it consistently.
It was one of the most exciting games, I'd say, in the top 10 that I've had in my career. I was DHing that night, so I was on the front top rail, the dugout in the 9th inning, you know, screaming and yelling and clapping and doing all kinds of crazy fun things, you know, which doesn't happen very often when you played a couple thousand games in the major leagues.
Roger Clemens, the first time in Major League history, has struck out 20 men in a 9-inning game in one of the most dramatic moments this great little ballpark in Boston has ever seen.
A masterpiece for the Red Sox maestro. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.